Hi everyone, this is Aimcom here, and I'm a hobbyist developer in JavaScript. This project here is Next app, and you know, just quick, behind the scenes. I'm this page. It's getting like to be a big project here, but just to show off a bit here. Okay, I'm just in my home page, and I've got my agent types and my categories. And so, agent types, right? And my categories. So, every time I change, software development, I got some choices to make market strategies, digital content, advertising, so on, so on. So, today, we're been over a year in some time now that there's been a war uh, in Ukraine, and since the beginning, it's always been a war, not a military operation. I mean, military operation is when Putin had went to blow up the Nord Stream pipeline. That's a military operation that he did. You know, who else would have done that? You think the Americans would have done that? It's not a lot. Like, why? They're not going like they're not Americans are not like vengeful like that or dominating in that perspective. Like the the Americans are more like concerned about what is written in the book in the history book. Because the pen is mightier than the sword, and if you're gonna be you know what's the greatest empire? Rome. 2,000 years and it fell. Why? Well, maybe there's too much blood. You know, and so Nord Stream pipeline, um, my weight. Without any conclusion, but as time goes by, there's like a lot of evidence. That you really needed a submarine to go and install the dynamite or whatever, the bomb, you know, because um, it was just, and obviously, oh, who can do that? Yeah, the United States. But who else can do that? Putin can do that, right? And yeah. So going on with you know, what I'm talking about today, I'm taking a break on this app just to play around with it. I'm in my home language translation. Let's go conversationalist, and I'm going to ask it to create me a poem uh, in Russian about there is a storm in the horizon. All right, let's try this out here. Let's see if it's gonna work. Hopefully, it's wrong here. There we go. Okay, it didn't work. right? So basically, I don't know what this poem is. It says so. Let's. I'm gonna have to do something else here. So control copy, and I'm gonna have to do this. Can you translate this poem below into English? So let's see if I can get this to generate in English. All right. In the horizon, the storm is thundering. It rises higher. The sky grows darker. On the sea, a wave is beating. The wind is already blowing stronger. Thunder can be heard. Lightning flashes in the sky, and the storm is coming to us. Cowl is beginning in the storm. Sad clouds in the horizon. In the sky, the thunder signs scary lyrics, and the thunder echoes in far away places. Right? So I'm a fan bit of Dennis. So let's see if we can translate this into crew, which I won't understand. Loading. There we go. So, poem in Ukrainian, uh, from Russian to English to Ukrainian. So, I think there is a storm coming for the Russians, right, Dennis? And it's sad how they're facing the storm. It doesn't have to be this way. Um, I love people, even the Russians. If they were my neighbors, but they can't do what they're doing right now. Why is the rest of the world a big monster for them? At a point, they would go and die into the blood like that. The West is, why, we're the beast, right? They're scared. Well, you know what? I was looking at Trump, okay? And Trump, if he was to be a grow up in Canada like us, we're 40 million people here growing up in Canada, and we have our, there's always an environment and a structure, and we have a government, and we have a democracy, and our democracy, a rich person can't just become a president here. It's all like you can't have money to become a prime minister here, and so there's we're like enclosed in certain rules in how we can grow. And I look at Trump, and I would say like if he was a guy living in Canada, he'd be on the streets today. I think he'd be nobody because he has no respect for Canada. The way he goes and shakes the North Korean's hand, but when he comes here, he doesn't. He didn't shake our prime minister's hand. He made sure to make a story about it that he did not shake his hand. So it's just to say that the psychology of certain people, you never know. And one thing I do know is that Trump would be nobody here, and he knows it like subliminally. So for him, Canada is a danger because he'd be a nobody with our types of rulings. You know, it's true. Every government has to get better for sure, but we got good. Yeah, it's about respect, honor, and stuff like that, right? And Putin's the same thing. I think he fears NATO's laws because he's nobody, and he knew that since he's a boy, probably. So he's been at war. He's been long term, bloody hands. So the Russians who appreciate this guy don't realize that he's going to tug on the boat to destruction. He's that how do you call it, the chariot going into nowhere, just leaving behind a big black dot. Where are we going? You're going into a storm that you don't know, Russia. So there we have it, folks. That's my vocal message. So I wanted to change my thought pattern of trying to talk about my code because it's intense to try to share code. And this is what I do. I like sharing code, but today I suddenly decided to wanting to share that because this AI agent and personalized agent, and it can help a lot of people here, you know, in theory, because this is an assistant. So, what do you want? What do you need? If it's not in a thing, I could add, that I'm building it, so I could add stuff to it. So if anybody out there want me to add things and ask it things and make it more a pre-prompt, just use some create a ask me to do something. I can't. I have to do. I'm not gonna do something unrespectful. But yeah. So till next time, folks. This is Aimcom, and I'm out here.